Welcome to the Big Tech Gut Check here on Scrolling to Death. This is a super brief weekly update for parents on all things social media and big tech. This update is for the week of April 8th, 2024. First, we're going to talk about the TikTok ban. I'm using air quotes, so there's a lot of worry and confusion over what's happening with TikTok. Kids are actually threatening suicide if TikTok is taken away from them. TikTok creators who make lots of money on the platform are also speaking up. So here's what's really happening. The intelligence community here in the US has raised concerns that the data we're giving over to TikTok, our data, our kids' data, is being given to the Chinese government, and they're saying that TikTok is basically Chinese spyware. So what data are we giving? So when you download TikTok on your phone, it tracks all of your activity on your phone, but not only there, it also tracks every device that is connected to your phone. So for Apple users, that would mean anything that's connected to your Apple ID, your iPad, your laptop, even if TikTok isn't downloaded on those devices. And TikTok can get access to activity on any devices connected to your Wi-Fi network. Yikes. So why China? So TikTok is owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance. And in China, companies are required to hand over their data to the Chinese government whenever it's requested. So this is a true national security risk. And the US government is concerned about what the Chinese government could do with all of our data and how much of an influence a Chinese company has over millions of kids, teens, and young adults. So the US government passed a bill in the House of Representatives saying that ByteDance has to sell TikTok to an American company or will stop allowing American citizens to have access to TikTok. This bill still has to pass in the Senate, and if it does, President Biden says he will sign it into law. So ByteDance obviously doesn't want this to pass. They don't want to lose the earnings from TikTok, which was $40 billion just last year. So they're getting TikTok users to do their political bidding. TikTok is serving a pop-up to users saying, quote, "Your freedom is at risk. Your content, your right to express yourself, and your income will be shut down too. Make your voice heard." And there's a button that prompts users to call now, which allows them to call their state representative and tell them to vote no on the TikTok ban. I'm not sure how it's okay for a Chinese company to be asking American kids to influence legislation here in the US that's trying to protect us from national security risks. Now, I want to add that when I shared this update on Instagram, I had a couple comments come in saying that America banning TikTok is in an effort to censor content that's not in line with the US government. The example that was given several times was anti-Israel or pro-Palestine videos. In my opinion, that's propaganda from TikTok, trying to get American users on their side. But whatever you believe on that, I think we can agree that TikTok is bad for kids for many reasons. So less TikTok access for kids, I'm on board with. One more update on TikTok. TikTok is officially taking on Instagram by launching a photo sharing app. This will be called TikTok Notes, and some users are already receiving notifications saying their photo posts will be shared to TikTok Notes unless they opt out. Social media firms continuously imitate each other. Instagram copied Snapchat Stories feature and TikTok's video scroll, which is now Instagram Reels. So this is not a surprise. A release date is not yet confirmed, but TikTok is likely scrambling to enhance their platform, making it more attractive and more addictive to users before this new TikTok legislation is decided on. Let's talk about Snapchat. I feel like I've talked this one to death, but here's a brief recap. The Wall Street Journal did an expose on Snapchat's ranking feature, saying that it increases teen anxiety, which it does. I was asked to speak on the feature on Fox News last week, and then a few days later, Snapchat announced that it would deactivate the default setting for Snapchat Plus users of this ranking feature. It's technically the solar system feature that you can upgrade to be able to see where you rank with other users on Snapchat. So at the time, Snapchat's statement was, quote, "We understand that even though it can feel good to know you are close to someone, it can also feel bad to know that you aren't as close to a friend as you'd like to be." Duh. But I've called bullshit on this update. I opened Snapchat yesterday and it's still promoting this solar system feature within Snapchat Plus. So I don't see the update personally, and I'm continually underwhelmed and disappointed with both Snapchat's proactive and reactive attention to our children's mental health. Suffice it to say, I will not allow my children on Snapchat. There are a plethora of harmful features in addition to the solar system feature. I'm actually recording a full episode on Snapchat's harmful features today with Titania Jordan of Bark Technologies, so look out for that soon. But I encourage other parents to educate themselves on the platforms that our kids spend lots of time on and how it could affect them negatively. Now, a lawsuit update. So in addition to the hundreds of school districts and most U.S. states suing big tech for causing youth mental health issues, 2 native tribal nations are now on board. So I learned today that suicide rates for Native teenagers is 4 times the rate of other racial or ethnic groups here in the U.S. That's crazy because suicide rates are so high for general teenagers. I cannot imagine what's happening in those Native communities. So these teens are already vulnerable and social media is making it worse. So the Spirit Lake tribe and the Menominee Indian tribe are suing Meta, Google, TikTok, and Snapchat for contributing to their high suicide rates and for purposely getting kids hooked on their platforms. I hope that we see some resolution in these cases and that big tech feels the pressure and the united front of us all saying, stop addicting our kids. Now an update on important legislation that parents should know about. So this week, KOSA and COPPA 2.0 were introduced into the House of Representatives. KOSA is a bill that would provide young people and parents with tools and safeguards and transparency that we need to keep our children safe online and to hold big tech companies accountable. COPPA 2.0 would update privacy protections of children online, adding regulations around how data is collected and used by tech companies for users 16 and under. It would also ban targeted advertising practices. So we can expect a hearing on Wednesday to discuss these 2 bills, along with a newly unveiled comprehensive data privacy bill called the American Privacy Rights Act. I will keep you guys updated as this legislation is very important. And if passed, I believe we'll see an improvement in the addictiveness of the platforms and our children's mental health. A couple updates on Discord. So Discord is a chat platform. It goes under the radar. It's most used when gaming. And Discord has long avoided advertising, but no longer. Discord announced plans to start showing advertisements on their free platform in order to try to boost revenue. So instead of standard ads, Discord's ads appear in the form of sponsored quests. When someone streams over Discord and they're playing a game with a sponsored quest, they'll have the opportunity to perform the quest while others watch, and the viewers will get served ads. So parents should know that you can turn off ad personalization in the app settings on Discord, which may be helpful as ads served on social media are often not aligned in appropriateness for each age group. Discord also announced this week that they'll be adding a polling feature. But like I said, Discord is one of those social media platforms that goes under the radar, but it's one of the platforms that houses the most cyberbullying and child sexual abuse material and predation. Discord's CEO actually had to be court-martialed and forced to go to the Senate hearing in January. He did not want to be there. And after hearing so many harmful stories about online gaming and about Discord, I decided to interview a bunch of gamers to learn about the gaming world. And the stories that I heard were shocking, and every parent needs to get familiar with what our kids are accessing and hearing in the gaming chat. So that podcast episode is available now, titled It's Not All Fun and Games. That is it for this week on the Big Tech Gut Check here at Scrolling to Death. I will catch you next week.